It's happened. I have officially been diagnosed with ADHD. Finally. Right now, I'm feeling a bit of a mix of emotions. I'm feeling a mix of numbness. It's not fully hit me yet. And a mixture of happiness, also a bit of sadness too. And I thought, given how much I have talked about ADHD on this channel and my suspicion of having it and me pursuing it and all of that, I thought it'd be best to kind of wrap it up here, you know? But going back, it was about maybe 2 years or so ago now where I recognized that I have ADHD. For my whole life, though, I've always believed that there was something different about me and I couldn't put my finger on it. Really, I was, throughout my whole life, trying to figure out what that was until I was like, I think I was scrolling on YouTube Shorts or something and I saw a short relating to ADHD. And when watching it, I was stunned by how much it fit me, how much it described the issues I was having and the problems I was having as a result of it. I ended up watching this guy that I'll put on the screen now, I forgot his name, talking about problems of ADHD. And I was like, I have that exact one. There was one perfect example he gave that was, he set up a scenario, I may have described this before or not, but he set up a scenario where he put $100 bill on the wall, right? And obviously he's doing a scene here, so to speak. And he says to the person who has ADHD in this skit, do you want that $100? And he goes, yes. He's like, okay, well, take it. He goes, okay, I will. And then something down that line, and then just doesn't take the $100 bill. It's like, why aren't you taking it? You clearly want it. And he's like, well, no, that's how ADHD works. It's nothing to do with desire. It's nothing to do with intelligence, nothing to do with that at all. It's to do with motivational skills. It's to do with executive function. It's to do with organization. It's all to do with action. And that's where we are impaired. We're impaired when it comes to action, not intelligence or recognition or desire. And when I saw that, I was like, that's it. That's it. I have all these ideas in my head, these things I want to do. I just always fall short on them. I always either fail to meet the standards that I've set myself or that have been set for me, or I fail to complete a task altogether. You know, there's still another collaboration video that I'm working on that I've put on the side for a little while and I've struggled to get back into purely because of that, the struggle with motivation and procrastination, putting things off. And when watching all that content, I was like, I have this, man. This is definite. And this isn't me labeling myself or trying to get diagnosed with something so I can get attention or, you know, set myself apart from the rest. Like, no one wants to have ADHD, okay? Trust me, you don't. It's hell. People think you don't care about them. You forget things all the time. You end up with some form of an addiction or another. It's horrible. You feel so bad about yourself. You feel so guilty when you let people down and when you let your own values and standards down because of genuine mental disability. And that's not something you want. Let me take you through the process quickly for those who maybe are in the UK, particularly or not, and are looking to pursue if they believe they match ADHD symptoms. It started off with me seeing a video, as I've mentioned, and I then recognized that was me, and then decided to look up the symptoms through official means. So looking at through, in our case, the NHS, and all the symptoms matched me perfectly. I was like, oh God, this is real. And so I contacted my GP. This is about 2 years ago now, and said, hey, I think I've got ADHD. And I'll tell you what, that period beforehand, before I contacted a GP, was one of the biggest eye-openers I've ever had in my life. It was a click, a sudden, I found it. I've found the thing that is making me different, the thing that is determining all the events in my life and has played a massive role in who I am. Mind shocked, blown, and then contact the GP. They then referred me after, of course, me scoring highly on their questionnaire, to which 2 years goes on now. Now, for as you know, those who do have ADHD or those who maybe are suspicious, one of the things that you struggle with is organization and prioritization. So guess what? I kind of just forgot about it. I just forgot about the referral and said, okay, well, I get a call or a text or something. There's nothing really for me to chase up here. I don't even know what I'm chasing up anyway, because they send a referral off somewhere. But either way, it came to about 2 years now, which was about a few months ago, I'd say, where I, at this point, had changed GPs because my old GP was pretty bad. For those who don't know, in America, a GP is a general practitioner. It's where you go to get your help. If you're doctors. So I changed GP and then contacted them and said, you know, what's going on with the ADHD referral? What's happening there? And then they said that it's not gone through, that it looks like the people they referred you to are no longer around. So they must have just thrown a case away. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go through all of that again. I'm going to do another 2-year wait. But I recalled having a conversation with thank God I remembered it. My memory's terrible, but in this case, it pops. Sorry. A conversation with a friend's partner who was going down the procedure of getting diagnosed and was much further than me after such a short period of time. And she said, I went down this thing called the right to choose pathway, which in the UK, I don't know how far it extends. I'm in London. I don't know if it's the whole country that offers this, but it's basically a service in which you can choose the provider, I guess you could say, or the healthcare provider that's going to assess you for ADHD and the like and treat you, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if it's particularly exclusive to ADHD, but I knew it was ADHD. So she told me how she went down this pathway, and it's like a few months for a diagnosis, and she's going down that road, told me about it. And so I brought up to them and said, can I go down the right to choose pathway? And they said, yes. And weirdly enough, the right to choose, the whole point is to choose who you're going with. But I guess there was only one, I don't know the answer to this, but I guess there was only one provider in where I live, in my area, sorry, because I was just straight referred to one. Yeah, so I went... You wanna know something fun? I was fidgeting with a nail clipper. And guess what I was doing? I was doing this. And then I've only gone and just clipped. If you're squeamish, look away. 3, 2, 1. I've only gone and clipped. It's a little cut, it's nothing. I've only gone and clipped my finger with it. I have just nail clipped my finger, bro. I'm going on to Amazon to get a fidget toy. Bro, what am I doing, man? I can't believe I literally just nail clipped my finger, bro. All right, anyway, it stings, but we'll move. I've washed it, we're all good. Where was I? I decided to go down this right to choose pathway and filled out some forms and the likes. Forgot to fill out one of the forms, you know, but I guess that's expected. And ultimately, a few months down the line, we get to today, where I finally had the consultation that I wanted to have for years now. I go into the consultation, we do, I go through this, and she asked some questions here and there and stuff. And the one thing she said to me ultimately was, she was stunned how I didn't recognize that I had it sooner, or it just wasn't recognized. She said I scored so highly that she didn't even need to check the scores of, because we did a questionnaire during it. She didn't even check the scores. She was like, yeah, I can tell already, you have it. Like, you fully have it. And it was almost like from seeing her, like she was stunned how much I have it, I guess is one way to put it. And it relates to a comment I saw on YouTube a while ago where someone said that their partner worked with, I think, children that have ADHD and said I had it really bad. And I'm sure a lot of you see that anyway. Like, I spoke to a lot of people about it now and everyone's like, yeah, you have it. But I didn't know to what extent, but even she was surprised how I've gone this long to the age of 29 without getting the help that I needed with having it this badly. I'm using the term badly because I can't think of any other term. I guess intensely is a word, I don't know. But I was like, wow. Like, it was nice to have my suspicions confirmed. Because for those who have been diagnosed, maybe at later parts in life, and for those who are maybe on the process of discovering that they might have ADHD or ASD or any sort of mental health condition, bipolar, borderline personality disorder, whatever it is, right? Those who are in the process of discovering those things, I'm sure you know, or sadly will know, that when you discover that and then start communicating that with people you care about, there is a natural, and I mean a natural resistance from the people you care about. In my family, I think it was majoritively resisted when I said that. And I could tell by when I'm bringing it up, people's responses and looks on their faces that they weren't buying it, so to speak. For a lack of a better term, they weren't like with me on that when I first started bringing up this ADHD stuff. And that came from a good place. It came from the worry that I was also, ignore this flickering, by the way, I need to get the light sorted out. It came from a place of care. Of like, we want to make sure you're not jumping onto something that isn't real and isn't true, and that you're going to make your life harder for yourself than it needs to be. That's where it came from. And I at least had the awareness to understand that the resistance that I was met with when talking about ADHD to people I care about wasn't that of malicious intent, rather that of just wanting to be sure I'm doing the right thing and not just jumping onto something. But it was initially met with resistance. And when I was met with that initial resistance, it's tough. Because you want them to understand you, right? You want them to be like, no, this is really something I'm struggling with. Like, this is real. And I have struggled with my whole life. I just have found out what it is now. The only thing that's missing is the official diagnosis. One thing that really made me, I wouldn't say sad, but a bit, I guess, disappointed. It's a shame that when you tell someone that you're suffering with something, mental health particularly, that the response is often, you know, have you been diagnosed? And if you haven't, then you just don't have it. It's almost like black and white in some way to some people, where it's like, if you've been diagnosed, you have it and I'm going to treat you as such. If you haven't, you don't have it and I'm going to treat you as such. Whereas there's a nuance, right? There's people out there like me who have it, but just don't have the diagnosis, because it was never fully followed through as a kid. It was something that they didn't even recognize until later on in their life. And even then are trying to pursue it. You know, there's complications and things, especially in my life, that have led to me getting diagnosed so late. But why can't the response be, okay, if you feel that way about yourself, are you seeking diagnosis? Are you seeking treatment? Are you doing this honestly? You know, are you being honest with yourself? Are you not making sure you're not over exaggerating anything? Or do you feel like you need to be seen? You know, what's going on here? Do you actually feel like you have it? Not to reject what you think about yourself, but rather I care about you and I want to make sure we do this right. You know, that's kind of the response that I think should be the case. But I was stunned by how much it was met with kind of just a resistance to the idea of, well, you don't have it until you're diagnosed. That definitely caught me off guard a lot. And was like, wow, okay. But nonetheless, I believed I had it. And so I pursued, and here we are having this diagnosis. If I want to give my thoughts on it right now, I think I've already said it's kind of like this numbness feeling. It's not really hit me yet, but it's surreal. Like nothing's actually changed, right? You know, I could have not had that meeting today and it still be the same day and the same me. But to know that it's real, confirmed by a clinician, going through multiple stages, multiple questionnaires, which are designed to test for inconsistencies, to make sure that you're not just saying you have it. For her to then say, I don't even need to look at the scores. She obviously did, right? It's her job. But for her to say, I don't even need to do that. You have it. It just felt like being seen. It felt like being understood. And I'm having more of that in my life now, which is great. You know, I've got a friend, there's this one friend who's fantastic at this. I remember communicating to her my struggles with ADHD, and it's not diagnosed. I said, it's not diagnosed, but it's real and I'm struggling with it. And communicating to her that like, hey, there's going to be times where I won't reply for like a month or two. And that doesn't mean I have a problem with you or I'm ghosting you. It's just, that's how my brain's hardwired. I would like think to respond to you, sometimes forget, and then it leave my brain. It will just be gone until something randomly reminds me and makes me go, oh yeah. And then I would think, I'll respond to her, but I'm busy right now. I'll do it in a bit. And then it leaves the brain again, right? And that's kind of how it works, is task, distract, task, distract, task, distract. That's how my brain is hardwired. And so in communicating that to her, she's been great. You know, there's been times where it's just been a long time we haven't spoken. Not once has she ever come to me and said, is there a problem? She's fully understood that that's just who I am. And that's nice to see that from the clinician, to have more people now in my life understanding me already, let alone seeing where it's going to go after this diagnosis. It's really nice. It's nice because it feels less of an excuse and more of a getting closer to reality. This isn't me trying to avoid accountability. This isn't me trying to get away from any consequences of the things I fall short on because of this. It's just my struggles. And as a result of a direct mental illness, not a moral failure. And when you have people that understand you around you, your life's kind of good, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong, I have issues. I have issues that I need to solve that are directly tied to ADHD, and hopefully the treatment can lead to those problems being solved. But just on a relationship front, having people understand me has helped so much, because I can just be myself and not worry about, oh, I missed this. Oh, no, I feel terrible. They're going to think I hate them. Whereas now it's like, oh, you know, I missed it. And then, you know, if I drop a belated birthday message or something like that, it ain't that deep, because I do care about you. It's just, I'm living my life and things are overwhelming for me every single day. So things are going to slip, and they do. And that happens. I think what's great is when people understand that's not personal, because that happens with everything in my life, not just relationships, everything. Admin work, any sort of task I've got to do, even in my gameplay, misplays. That's a perfect example of me always missing the smaller details at times because of the way my attention works, because of my attention being impaired. It's everywhere, in every aspect of my life. So I think when people can understand that and not take it personally when I miss certain details about them or forget something relating to them, I think I've got more people in my life like that now, and it's just so nice. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes, understanding myself and even more, and helping other people understand me, and not thinking or worrying about whether or not they think that I'm just making this up as an excuse to look better or to get away with crap. Because I do have people in my life who really give it to me hard, you know, that are just way too much and don't believe me when I say this is something I'm struggling with, and it's not me being a bad person. It's just me struggling with this, and I do care. I do know that with ADHD, there's not one big fix. There just is treatment to help with management and life skills and learning to manage. I'm just looking forward to explore that properly. Not trying to do it myself because I've not been diagnosed and I can't get proper treatment. Not relying on others for X this and X that. Just exploring this journey. And so I'll probably talk more about it here and there during videos and all that. But I'm so excited I'm also scared because I do have health anxiety and there's like side effects, and that always messes with my brain a bit. But I'm going to do it anyway because obviously it's massive. Look, if any of you are struggling with this, I'd say be honest with yourself. If anything I've said here you've related to and you want to look into it yourself, just do it honestly. Yeah. Be honest with yourself. Ask yourself the questions, the harder questions. I had to ask myself, am I doing this for attention? Am I doing this to try and seem different? Is that what's going on? Why am I doing this? Is this actually a genuine concern of mine, or am I over exaggerating it? You have to ask yourself those hard questions first to be honest with yourself, to understand what's going on. And that's when people are like naturally resisting me saying it, that I think I have ADHD. I was like, no, I've been honest with myself here. I've been critical. In fact, I am my worst critic, my biggest critic. I know this isn't an exaggeration. I know this isn't me using it as an excuse or some way to deflect anything. This is just what I've been struggling with my whole life. If you are going to look at it honestly, answer the questions, look at your childhood, understand if that plays any roles, because if it does, then that's a big link. And just trust your gut from there on, man, because you're going to get people resisting. You're going to get people thinking you don't care. You're going to get people thinking you can't prioritize. You're going to get people thinking you're useless. That was something that was said to me a lot in a past relationship, which put me down so much. Whenever there's a problem, it was me just being called useless, and it made me feel like I was useless. Horrible. Things like that would be said to you. Just endure, pursue. Either way, I've been diagnosed. I'm happy. Relieved. It's a new journey from now on, eh?